Wicketkeeper giving a Waitrose masterclass in keeping wicket. We've got 3 young cricketers with us who are going to be listening, learning and taking the tips away from John. For the quicker bowlers, what would be the key points, would you suggest?
I think my main 5 things are going to be my head, my hands, my feet, my timing and my posture. So my posture is pretty similar for both, stood up and stood back. And probably the top of those, I'd say my head and my hands are really important. I'm always trying to get those in line. Stood back, you obviously got a bit more time to see the line, seeing it. Someone like Jimmy's bowling, you always feel in the game with swing and you can get a really nice rhythm stood back, looking for those outside edges. If it just misses off stump and it's going to come this side of you, make sure you still take your head there. That's it, so your head in line there.
What height would you suggest they should take the ball?
I think whatever is where your sort of natural catch is. For me, that would probably be my sort of waist and maybe a little bit higher.
From a keeping point of view, you're perceived as a centrepiece of the team. Does that have an effect on you?
I try and be really authentic, so I try and be myself. And if I'm keeping well and I dive and stop one, that's going to give just as much energy to a side as me running around shouting at people.
The keepers at times get too low, their backsides almost get below knee level, which therefore means that they're slow off the mark. Just go through that stance and just talk exactly why the explosive position is the better way.
Yeah, so most of cricket, especially wicket keeping, is really explosive movement. So if I was going to jump as high as I could, I'd squat down probably to this position and then jump. And my perfect place for me to be wicket keeper is pretty much I rest my elbows on my knees and put my hands out, and this position here is where I feel in a really strong position there to be able to jump to for the ball, for a high ball or for a dive if I need to be quick to get down the leg side, and that's this is my position where I really need to do everything from, I guess.
How far are you standing back metre wise? Just say to someone like Wood, you say he's bowling at 90 mile an hour.
I tend to go on the bowlers run ups. So you see them paint their mark out before the day's play, and I know Jimmy Anderson's run-up is about where I start. That's for the first ball of the day. That's probably where I'd start for both Jimmy and Broady, and then depending on how the pitch, I'll sort of work off there.
Spin bowling as well, probably the hardest art of wicket keeping, standing up to the stumps. What again would be your mindset for keeping to, where it's a Moeen Ali, you kept the Graham Swan, these types of bowlers?
Yeah, so again, once you come up to the stumps, there's an extra chance that, obviously if stumping becomes involved, you've got the extra chance of affecting a wicket that way. So that's another positive thing you can put into your mind. You're up there and you've got more chance of taking wickets. And my posture is pretty much the same, maybe just a tiny bit lower.
Fractionally lower for the spin bowler than for the quicker bowler.
Quick bowler, yeah.
Just talk to the viewers there about hip rotation and how important that is.
Yeah,
standing up to the
stump. So this my sort of posture I'd be in, and say a ball was, if it didn't spin, it'd just come in here and I'd catch that. Say, Moeen hits the rough that's been created out there and it pops this side. If I'm in this position, this is a really powerful position where I can really fire my hips and be quick to actually get my hands into that position.
So what is the technique or the best advice that you can give to the people watching on taking a ball down the leg side off a spinner?
So I think for me there's probably 2 ways of doing it, and it depends on the line. So if it's really far down the leg side, I think you have to just make them, right, I've got to go and I've got to get there, so try and get this side of you, and if I'm quick enough in that and it's that far down the leg side, I'll then get another sight of it on that side of you.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's only going to just miss leg stump by this much, I want to stay on the offside of the batter as long as I can.
Here.
So if you're there and it's coming from that camera there and it's just going to just miss that leg,
here,
I want to be watching it from this side as long as I can.
Something that's come into the game in recent times is the decision review system, DRS. How big a role does a wicketkeeper play?
But you're in a great position. Obviously you can't see exactly where it hits the most up, but you do get a feel for if it's in line or if it's a good one to challenge.
So really that just proves that the wicketkeeper is the most important member of the team.
Exactly, he is, and he's got a lot on his shoulders. And I guess your teammates do really appreciate what you go through as a wicket keeper, but most importantly, Wicket Keepers Union have always got your back.
Brilliant, mate. Absolutely fantastic.
Cheers,
Well
Pete.
done. Good luck.